Alright guys, you're welcome back. So guess I'm not sleeping now. Alright, so we'll continue back from the place we stopped. I think I skipped one, which happens to be this. Let me just lay more emphasis on this sticker. Now the sticker varies from depending on the kind of Pixellab you're using. But this is the stickers I'm having in my own Pixellab. You can use it for any design of your choice. Most of these elements are used for like most this ones, all this wedding stuff, all this wedding ivy and the likes. So, and also I use this one in creating some. There was a design, this something like this in creating one fictional flyer design I did one time. And this phone is a brush too, so it depends. Let me click on the sticker. It will give me another option. It contains some logos of some brand, and I've used some of these logos before. And so these are emojis. Look at social media icons and the like. So it varies from the kind of Pixellab you're using. So your Pixellab may not be having this kind of icons that mine is having. Right, so let's just skip this one. So the next thing is the draw tool. I use the draw tool a lot, so you can actually use it to, let me just change the color to blue, this blue, and draw on the screen. So this is it. It's in effect, but most times I prefer, if you want it to be very smooth, just pay attention to the screen compared to, let me use the other one and let me just reduce the smoothness. So look at, it's kind of rough, but let's increase the smoothness. So just compare the two. I think it's almost the same thing. All right, so this is fill inside. Let me enable it. Fill inside works better. Let me just put the smoothness to about 20. So I fill inside. I will just draw this one. You see that this is how it works. Now this dash, sorry, this dash, let me reduce the font size. So this dash. All right, so this is what you get when you use the dash option. So then when we come to neon effects, so this is what we have in now, but when we increase the blur radius, you see this kind of blowy outside. So that's all for the I think I'll be uploading some videos on where I explain some of these tools. So these options here varies on, also this particular one, it varies on the kind of Pixellab you're using, but everything erases, resets your design, and when you click it, it gives your design the layout that is already there. This one too, but so this particular folder, my previous designs I have done. All right, so that's what it contains. Then when we come to A, this is quotes. Like Pixellab come with some quotes, some motivational quotes. So this quotes like contains like box header. So this is header. All right, so I think it should also varies with the kind of Pixellab you're using, the option. So let me come back to this quote. Okay, see text. All right, so come back to this quote, still the same option. All right, so this is, so let me click this one. So this is what it gives me. All right, so I come to the quote again, come to stylish emoji and text, and so this is what I have. I will just delete it, click on the quote again. Then let's see, now I now have variations of the kind of, if this is the quote, variations of the quote. If it is happiness, I want friendship or something that inspires. And so this is it. All right, so this is what I'm having now. So they click on this plus icon. So this A option works for anything that has to do with text. It works for anything that has to do with text. So here I can, this is my preset style. Pixellab comes with some styles already, some preset style. Okay, this which is a gradient. I don't want to. So this is, if you look at it now, this is a gradient. Let's just come to the constituent, the A, and let me click. You see, automatically it's not even putting a color. It comes to gradient. When I click on, so this is contains about 4 gradients. All right, so that is why the text is like this. So if you want to use your for your design, just come to this here, click on it, come to style, and also you can, aside you using their own basic templates, you can also save your own. For example, this is how I save my most of my 3D text effects. Style, save, no, browse. The ones I've, if you want to save, that's option if you have one that you are using. So these are the ones I've saved thus far. So let me click on this particular one. All right, so let me increase it and copy, edit, let me browse, then this particular style, this one. All right, so this is it. Then I could just copy again. So it's the text effect actually is 3. Browse, make use of this style, then come to this option. So this, so it is now complete. So this is the text effect, new text effect. I know you just like, so that's how most times some text effect are 2. So what you just do, you just save them, save as the style of the text one. So you won't actually convert it to an image. You want to merge it. If not, you won't be able to edit it. As it is now, I can actually edit this one. Let me come to the option, click on edit, but it will not just be in line with the, let me just make it new alone. Now see, it is just what I'm having here. So except I will have to now edit the remaining one. I have to edit this one too. So that's the problem with all these text effects. So you can't compare with Photoshop. Alright, so I will now come to relative position, move it to the center, come to this relative position, move it to the center, this one position, move it to the center. Alright, so it's, you see, it's now is not actually at the center. Why? Because there is a bit of space here. Now when I go back now, so it's now actually at the center. And most times the function of this padding, whenever you are adding some, you're using some particular font. Let me just come here. So this is my font option, recent. These are the font I recently used. This is the font I have installed in my Pixellab. I have a video now, you can install font in your Pixellab. So these are the font I have installed on my Pixel that came with my the kind of the Pixellab I'm using. So these are the fonts that I have. So there are some stylish fonts you will be making use of. Let me make use of this one. So you'll notice it actually, you see this text now, you see it's cut somewhere like this. What is actually reflecting there is the shadow. But when I want to make use of it very well, I'll just come here and give it a padding. I'll just try and make it equal. So alright, so the padding, then the reason is not together because we're using a different font. So padding will just have to give you space, except you want to now be manually be adding space. Before I understood the function of padding, I was just like adding, I would add space to this thing. It is quite stressful anyway. So because of that spacing, we give it enough space. Now this is the option delete. We talked about copy already. We talked about to the front, to the back. Then this position helps you to move your text. See, it is moving 6. And if you reduce it, so it will be moving slowly. If you increase it, it will be moving fast. So the options to this side, to this side, to this, to the top, to the bottom. All right, so that's all for this one. The relative position, we talked about it already in the previous one. So it works in every way. Size, we talked about it, but there are times this your size here may be limited. You see, when I increase it manually now, let me go back to the size. See, 386. So there are times maybe you want a particular size, it's not giving you. See, this one only gives you, okay, because we have this 386 here. Okay, let's just see this now. Let me reduce it. Come back to size. That's not the highest it's giving me. Come back to size. So 300 is the highest it will give me. So but if I increase this my size here, all right, I increase this my size to this guy relative, so this 600. Now and now, okay, let me by hand, using my hand to reduce it. Now I won't want to take it off, because if I take it off I won't be able to read. But if I increase it back, it's giving me going close to 602. But if I come here and reduce it, we've tried it already before. If you notice, I can't go back to that 600. It is 300. So just be mindful when you're using this option. So padding, we talked about padding. So color, let's talk about color now. This is various color you can use. So let me bring in an object or a particular design. So let's just make use of this guy here. All right, so let's still make use of this color. It's yellow. Let's say come to the color option. I want to steal a color from this guy shade. Okay, I'll come to click on plus. If maybe I want to just use NE, I want to leave I'll click on plus, highlight it, click on plus, click on this eyedropper, then click on the guy's clothes, on the guy's skin, and I prefer it on the skin. Then just make this, okay. All right, so don't let me tamper with it, so you will just practically understand, because the color was not. All right, so this one will do. Now you see the effect is giving me. This is how you steal color. Now gradient, how do you create a gradient? So let's click on plus. Okay, let's just click on plus. Okay, let me get rid of this one. Adventure, you're having a new text. Come to the font option. I have some fonts that I have installed here already. Okay, let me make use of this one. You will not see it very well, but I'm just trying to show you something anyway. Color, gradient, click on plus. So by default it gives you this one, so I can switch the position. I've showed you this already. 13 minutes. So this one, I'll click on color, come here and steal from the guy's sheet. All right, so this other one, click on color, click on this and come and steal from this guy's sheet. So I'll make this one, I can, okay, it's just my choice. I can make this one a light, a darker. Let me make this one darker first. So so it's your choice, so you can just don't worry. But actually most people use this one for the darker part. Let me just make it for the lighter one. All right, so this one, let it just be my darker one. So it's your choice. So if I want to switch, maybe I want to use this other side for my light, I'll just click on this option. See, I'll switch this particular one, this one. So if I want to add, okay, I can't minus. If I want to add this, add a gradient to it, maybe something similar. Let me just bring a strange color, sea green, that's standard everything. If I want to remove it, minus. So you know the one I showed you that I had 4. So I will just click on this. click on plus. Okay, let me click on plus again. So I have to just make this a bit um okay, let me make it of this like this. I will just make this here. Okay, and okay, now we have this particular option. Click on this one, then I will just make this one like this. So I will okay, now you seeing the effect, the same effect we have in there. But okay, you're not seeing it here because the way it is being positioned. But if I switch the if I use this particular one, sorry, if I use this, no, not this. So okay, use okay, see this one now. I use this one. So let me click on OK. Now you actually seen the effect it is showing here. Let me come to my font and just give it a let me give it let me use Modia Black, Modia non-commercial. Alright, so you seen the effect in the new text. So that's practically how you do something like that. Now if I want to change the texture, now what if I change the texture? You're not going to see anything. Texture, I can use any animated stuff, any pattern or any background for my texture. Okay, let me just come to my download. I have some images which I downloaded I can use as my texture. So let me just make use of this one here. Maybe let me just make use of this anyway. So this is reflecting. If I want to make it like this, so the scale, so most times you will not want to scale too much, especially when you're using a shape. So if I want to stretch it to make it like the particular shapes, what this one does by default, it gives you like it's going to divide that particular image into pieces, into many pieces. And when you are stretching it, that's why it's actually, when you stretch it like that, you see it replicated that design, that element you use by bit. But when you scale it, it's just stretch that one. But when you enable this one, so you are only stretching one, just like, well, so this one too also, you see it multiplies this one too. All right, so color, let's come to color. I think color, okay, color doesn't override texture. I was thinking so when I delete it, it goes back to the default color. All right, so this is opacity, also known as transparency. Now this is my transparency. When I reduce it, it reduces. So when I come to shadow, let me I just add shadow to it. This is the blur radius for the shadow. I want to make it blur. Alright, so I can now move my offset Y. Those are the direction of the shadow. Alright, so this is the blur radius. I want to make it blur. Most times you can just make it a bit blurry. What shadow does is it make you feel like this object is real, like it's on top of something. That's how it's feeling now. So this is the opacity of the shadow. Alright, so I'll talk about that of shape later. You can change the color of the shadow later. So by default is in black, so let me leave it in black. Now let me come back to opacity, and if I use this opacity, see, affect shadow, means if I reduce it, it affects the shadow. But if I come to enable, you see it doesn't affect the shadow. Right, that's why I put on the shadow. So this is outer glow. If I enable it, my shadow will be glowing. Let me just disable it, so you see it's not as glowing as that when I enable it to be glowing, regardless of whatever you're using. So even though I make it, so that's all for this one, for the shadow option. Now this is, I've talked about rotation, so talked about, now this is max 2. Now max 2, you can use this, we use this max 2 at times for some manipulations, or maybe you want to cut out some, want to stylize some things, want to make it add style and beauty to it. So you just cut this option here. So let's let this be like this. And okay, let me copy this, then make this like this. All right, so I'll now come to my max tool back. Now by default it was in out, so when I come to in, all right, so it is now giving me, let me just come here and change the color, so you're seeing the effect now. How would I do it? I come and max the first one, make it out. So this is, it is not if you look at it very well, it is not actually covering, it is just covering the other one. It's not the same thing with the other one, so it is still that one. When you just come to out, once you come to out, it takes away that other part and it makes the one outside invisible, make the one inside visible. All right, so if you want to copy this, the pattern, this pattern is this pattern of, this same pattern of, it's the same pattern of this thing is talking about, not any maybe extra. You want to copy it for another one, copy it within this particular option. Maybe you want to max various types of things, so that's what this copy option is. So if you want to switch between the max you are controlling, like now I'm controlling this one, maybe I want to control this other one, so I'll just switch between this one, so I can't control that one now. So this one, this option here, this bezier option enables me to move this max, the pointer, this here and here. But this particular option, it makes me able to move my bezier to, let me, this one too, it enables me to actually move it to my, to this particular choice. So this option makes me to delete, so see the place I, this one, this one, so I can delete between points, but I can't delete more than two. Now this increases the size of my bezier. All right, so this remember, in and out, in and out, so it's still the same thing. Now this rotates your bezier. All right, so let me go back to, sorry, let me just go back to my max too. All right, so this is what we can do. There are so many you can do with the max tool anyway, but let me just end this one here. So rotation, FC, we talked about rotation already, so we talked about the max tool. Font, so this is style. Now there are some, this is bold, you see it actually increased. This is italics, you see actually everything is not okay. Let me just get rid of, I kind of like this style, no, let me just leave it and lock it. Let me just lock this. All right, so let's just add a text, new text. Let me come to, now there are some fonts that this option does not work with. There are some fonts that this option does not work with. You see when you add bold to it, it like this one actually there, so don't be, so this one now is italicized. By default it was italicized before. This is underlined, so this is to cancel every effect you've added it, all this effect, to cancel it. So if I just want to add, underline this other one, same thing here. If I want to just to italize this other one, same thing here. If I want to just make this one bold, so the same option, but we want to cancel everything. See the canceling too. Now anyway, so you have to just select everything and cancel everything. So curve, you want to add curve to your image like this. So we to background, this option makes me add background to my image now. So the default one that came with it, background, you see the color wasn't that bright. Okay, I guess because I changed the color to black already. But let's go back, come to back to background. Okay. Sorry about this. So I will just come here, I can switch, just change the color of the background I want. So I can add padding to the left, I can add padding to the right, but that doesn't affect I can add padding to the top. So anytime when you use this option and you see maybe the padding at the left at times it's not equal, because most times it happens that maybe the one at the right and the one at the left, they are not equal. You just come here and make it equal. So the bottom, all right, so and radius. All right, so that's all for this alignment. Now let me delete this one and let me bring in this quote, since I actually need it here now. So by default it is in center alignment. Let me hide this my text and this my image. Let me hide that new at the back. So this is what we have. By default it's at the center. Always try to climb. So by default it's centered. So when we come to alignment, come to the left side, so it is aligned at the left. This option is left alignment. This is center alignment. This is right alignment. You see everything is changing. The right side is smooth while the left side is rough. The center, both sides are rough, except and the text is starting at the wherever it is aligned from. That's where this text starts. It's starting from this place and is ending. This place is rough. So but do mind when you're working on a project, please just try and don't make your alignment be too like this. Most times it doesn't speak well. Just make it nice like this. It's not too obvious. All right, so if you want to make it justify is going to close both edge, but it still doesn't change the fact from where your text is starting from, because this is still telling us it's starting from the left. This one is telling us it's starting from the center. Still my justify is still enabled. Now this is centered, still telling us it's starting from the right. Right, so let's just leave this one here. Now this is spacing. The spacing between the letters, you can see always see the spacing there. If I want to shrink it now, you see this. Let me reset it. This spacing between the words, see always and continue. See the kind of space that is there. Let me reset it now. So that's all for this is line spacing. You want to just reduce the space between the line. Most times when you use too much line spacing in the design, it's bad. So it shows that there is no relationship between your text and the both objects. All right, so this is all. Stroke now gives us. Now let me just increase for you to see this. See that black spot there? So this is the color of the stroke. You see it is still white, but the color. So this is the width of the stroke. Most times you use it for text from our text effect. So this is gradient. It works also with the gradients. See the effect. All right, so you can. It's best when you just try it. Apply stroke to just one text. So I will just come to my font, come to reset and just make it the same mode here, black. Then I'll just come and add stroke to it so you can see what I'm talking about. Now this is my stroke. I will increase the width. All right, so I'm still talking on this. I'll just try and end this video here in the 35th minute. All right, so this is, so if I want the gradient, I can still see the effect of the gradient better compared to the previous one. So inner shadow. No, this is outer shadow. We've talked about outer shadow. Now inner shadow. This one, the shadow within your text. So it kind of makes us to add style at times to our design. So let me just get rid of this stroke. All right, so come to this my inner shadow. Let me just change the color to this. So this is, most times we just use it to add. So this is the blur radius. Want to make it too blurry. So the offset Y. All right, so that's all for this one. So we have emboss. Now this my text, this modified Pixellab, the emboss is actually having problem. So we just have to be increasing the size and increasing the size. And most times once we increase the size, the emboss is going to just disappear. This effect is going to disappear. So you can see it is no longer mentioning, but the Pixellab you download from the Play Store doesn't give you this issue. All right, so still on the emboss, so I can just move the direction of my light. So you see the fill is giving me inside. So this is the intensity, this is the ambient lights. All right, so this is spec hardness, this is the bevel. All right, so we have this. So this is what, and most times we actually try to merge it, but if I try and merge this one now, it's still going to give me the same effect, that same jargons. Look at it. So it is, so that it will be real, but just it will take so you see the same effect. But that's why most times I use text tone for this effect for my bevel, because I'm using a modified Pixellab. So 3D rotation is different from the other one. Now see, as if it was inside compared to the other one. All right, so this is 3D. You want to make your text 3D. Now see the 3D. And most times whenever you are using your 3D, it can be distorted. So what we just need to do is just put off this stimulate lighting. When you're having a kind of distortion, let me delete this. No, don't let me delete it. Let me just go and put off this emboss. Now it was because the emboss was even on, that's why it was not like, so when it's 3D you can see it is distorted. Let me come to stimulate lighting, put it off. It was giving me something that is normal. So let me just put it on for now. So it's still the same thing, we just have to be adjusting. So for now, so this I can move the direction of the light, can not just check in the base, the where the 3D is. You see, if I move it here, it's darker. It's just the direction of the light angle. Now this is the intensity of the light. Right, this is the shadow. It's for the spectacular hardness. All right, so that's all for this one. Now Z rotation, same thing we've talked about this. All right, so this is darken to make it dark. Now this, for this option, the reason I actually did, I wanted to see the option, this effect. Oh god, let me put off my stimulate lighting, please. All right, so I will do this, change this one here. So these are the effects it's kind of giving me. Okay, so this is, if you want to make auto makes, gives you the same color of your text or whatever thing you're having to the same color of the 3D. So if you want it to be deep, want it to be too deep, you want it to be kind of a bit light. Now this oblique and perspective, now this comes very in handy. So just disable this stuff. Then so shadow, so let me just, all right, so oh sorry about my background noise, oh, still a very noisy place. So now you can see, notice that it's kind of like, I mean, shadow, there's something there, and with this text effect is even making it more real. So this reflection of my text, for the reflection, if I want to make it far apart and make it closer, so this is all for the text. Wow, so let's see, 35 minutes. So that will be all for this one. Let's continue in the next video, so then I'll just wrap it up. I guess I've spoken to a length and then you've